How many wins are the Minnesota Vikings going to have this year? How many losses are they going to have? We shall see. Let's get right into the video. Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys for tuning into today's video. Today, I brought in the biggest, tallest Vikings fan you've ever seen from the state of Minnesota. Our very own Austin Nielsen. It's good, brother.
It's good, bro.
Not too much. Happy to have you with us here today.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, man, and here to talk some purple.
Yep.
Let's do it.
As you can see, we both have our purple on today. The video is going to be how many wins, how many losses are the Minnesota Vikings going to have. We're going to break it down for you game by game for the 2022-23 season here. Like I said, appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. Let's get right into today's video. NFL teams all had to make their roster cuts today. The Minnesota Vikings had to make 2 cuts of their own. Kellen Mond and Sean Mannion, to be exact. Those are 2 pretty big cuts. I maybe expected Sean, but Kellen was kind of a surprise.
Yeah, well, you don't perform in the preseason, They bring in a quarterback. They obviously don't like what they had. You gotta go.
Exactly.
It's time to move on.
They drafted him last year. They thought he was going to be the quarterback of the future,
round.
Perhaps.
Yep.
Did not pan out to be, sadly. Hopefully, best of luck to Sean Mannion, Sean Mannion as well, but best of luck to Kellen Mond especially, bro. Hope it goes well for you on your next assignment, whatever that may be. Just sadly did not work out for the Minnesota Vikings.
Though. The Vikings might, hit them up. Hey, practice squad, Kellen Mond, come back in, and just ride the pine, learn under whomever, Kirk Cousins,
People get hurt.
Yeah.
Kellen Mond might be back in purple one day. But sadly, that did not pan out to be. So, 53-man rosters are set. The Vikings currently have 4 running backs on their roster that are all very good running backs. We know who the starter is, Dalvin Cook. Alexander Madison, the tailback, to back him up. Ty Chandler making his presence known in the Minnesota Vikings training camp this season as well.
Rookie.
Yes, sir. Out of North Carolina, right?
Yep, UNC, North Carolina, I guess, sir.
He had a good preseason. He had a good preseason and a good camp. But we also have Kene Wong, who returned not 1, not 2, but 3 kick return touchdowns last year.
Too, those are pretty big.
You got to make it known on special teams if you want to make the Vikings squad. That's exactly how Stephon Diggs did it himself.
Exactly. Thielen too. You got to think way back. Thielen made a big impact on the special teams. Now you look at him now, he's arguably one of the faces of our franchise. So
that's how he made a name for himself, was on special teams. I remember he blocked that one punt at TCF Bank Stadium, and Paul Allen went nuts for that. Yep.
That exact play.
I think that was against the Carolina Panthers. I do remember that like the back of my hand. You got to make it. You don't make the Minnesota Vikings overnight. You really got to make that team. So, with that being said, we have 4 running backs. Do we need 4 running backs, or can moves be made? I'll let you preach.
Honestly, moves could be made, but maybe they're playing it smart because Dalvin Cook is known for being injury prone. As much as I hate to say it, he is a top 5 back in the league. When healthy, but he does tend go down. And we do. I don't know. As far as me, I think we need to keep these running backs around just because the Dalvin Cook situation, but.
He's very injury prone with that left knee.
There's word on the street that Madison won't be coming back next year. He's a free agent, and he believes his talents deserve to be in the starting role.
Right.
And if they're smart, you get rid of them now, you might get a little value out of them. You don't lose. It's not a lose-lose. You don't lose them in the free agency, and you get a pick out of it. I don't know, or you keep them. just in case Dalvin Cook gets hurt. You got a solidified running back that's been here, been in the system, knows what.
Knows the system. He knows the system, and all those games that Dalvin Cook has been out, he has fulfilled that position very well. It's the highest standard that Mike Zimmer had him. Whenever Dalvin got hurt, Alexander Madison ran downhill, got the touchdowns when his number was called. And he performed very well, in my opinion. So he's definitely worthy enough to be, a capable back in the league. Will that be for the Minnesota Vikings in the foreseeable future? We shall see.
Me personally, I hope he is.
I
hope
hope
he sticks around. You know, he switched his number to 2. You know, he got the 2-4 action.
Yep, Cook got his.
Dalvin and Madison. You know, I hope them 2 guys stick together. You know, I like them together. You know,
Madison's a good. He's a good dude.
It's a good 1-2 punch for them. You know, Cook comes out, Madison comes in. You know, it's in a way the same back. They just have a little physical
100%
difference, but I like them both together.
I'm used to seeing both those guys, so we can just say let's stick with them. But if the front office decides to make a decision to move on, exactly. The price is right, then sell them. But if not, Madison, good to have you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
We are going to take a step forward now to the 2022 Viking season. So, 18 weeks this season, 17 games, 1 bye week, and 17 games for the Minnesota Vikings. That goes all the way through September 11th through January. We are going to break down each game for you, win or loss. I'm going to start off, and then Austin's going to take over for me after each game. So we're going to kind of switch off and give our best take on it. So everybody's looking forward to week 1, right? Green Bay Packers. Me and Austin are probably looking forward to it the most out of anybody as big Vikings fans. I know there's a lot of big Vikings fans out here, but diehards looking forward to the border battle. This is like border battle 160 something. I don't know.
Big number.
It's I don't know what Paul Allen's number is going to be, but it's a big number. It's a home game. There's a couple of Green Bay Packers in the Viking squad. Zadarius Smith, Shannon Sullivan. And I know there's some hungry guys out there that the Vikings, none of the starters played, defense or offense, really played that much in the preseason. They're going to be hungry out there at US Bank Stadium against their arch rivals, the Green Bay Packers. It's got to be a win.
It's got to be a win, especially with these fans coming in. It's going to be loud. The stadium's going to be loud.
Packed, hopefully sold out.
Right. Oh, it's going to be sold out, no doubt. But, Rodgers, he's coming in town, and these new faces on the team, Harrison Phillips, Zadarius Smith, these are mean machine players that are on the defense. They're coming in to hit.
Exactly.
And Zadarius Smith, he's hungry. Packers didn't want to keep him.
He's been waiting.
He's coming around. He's happy to be a Viking. You can tell. Every time you see him on videos, he's smiling with a smirk on his face, knowing it's go time.
Yep.
Especially to find out that his week 1 team that he's playing is Green Bay Packers. Watch out,
Sorry, Packers fans, we got him now.
Yeah.
And sadly, that's going to be an L for you week 1. I hate to say it. 1-0, the Vikings start the season with a win against the Green Bay Packers. Next up, this one's tough. It's a tough one.
First primetime game at Philly. Very tough, Vikes are always known for playing Philly tough, We don't want to bring up what happened in the NFC Championship because I'm pretty sure we all know. They got absolutely just blown out.
Yeah, shake my head.
Yeah, so, Philly's going to be a tough matchup, and honestly, as a Homer fan, it's hard for me to say that they're going to lose this game, but, just the way the odds stack up, I'll mark it as an L,
I respect that decision.
And that's coming from somebody that really believes this. I want to say they're going to go 17-0, but, as a realist, I think that game they're going to lose. They're going to start off the season 1-1, and then the very next week they're going to be home versus Detroit.
Yep. If you aren't, known yet, Kirk Cousins tend to struggle in primetime games, and that's exactly what we have against Philadelphia. There is a primetime game, so I will respect that as an L. As diehard Vikings fans, much as it hates to say us as an L against Philadelphia, they do have a very good roster.
Maybe they could prove us wrong. Who knows? Maybe
please prove us
Kirk
wrong.
Comes out just throwing flames. Monday Night Football. He's sick of all the people talking down on him, and he comes out firing.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe JJ goes for 200+ yards, 3 touchdowns. It could happen. This is nationally televised television, So.
Exactly. Monday Night Football, ESPN. Hopefully it's a W.
It's a big game.
Huge game.
Especially if they can come off week 1 with a victory. That's going to be a great game to watch. I can't wait.
Can't wait. I wish I could fast forward to that day.
Yeah, no crap.
1-1. So keep it as an L against Philadelphia for week 1, sadly. Moving on to Detroit the next week after that. Detroit does have a very good roster. But just for the sake of time and for the sake of my diehard Minnesota Vikings and my soul, I'll mark that as a W.
Yeah, you got to. Especially at home, you need to mark up as many home division wins as you can, especially if you want to beat the Packers. When it comes to the end of the season, getting the NFC crown, NFC North crown, you want to make sure you're winning these home division games. It's already tough enough going on the road to Green Bay, to Chicago. Detroit, they play us tough every year. So you got to win these
100%.
home division games. You know, like I was telling them earlier. You know, the first 3 home games are within the division are within the first 5 weeks, and those are big games that you need to win to start off the season right. As far as your
100%.
NFC North division, you know, you win that division, you're guaranteed a home playoff game. So,
Yep.
the NFC North, it's critical to win.
The NFC North is ours to take, and it
Got it.
starts with that Sunday against the Detroit Lions, because those, even though people might look over those as, you know, must wins, we saw last year that those are not always must wins.
Nope.
The week after that, we have the New Orleans Saints in London.
Yep.
We're going to London town to watch the Minnesota Vikings play the New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
That game's at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I don't know what time that equates to the London time. However,
Central Time, wake up bright and early. It's at 8:30 a.m.
when you're hungover on Sunday morning from Saturday night, you'll be watching the Vikings early. Get that coffee in you.
Yep.
But we know the Vikings know the Saints all too well. What do you think about that one?
That's gonna be a tough game. You know, my buddy Sean, he is a diehard Vikings fan, or my fault, diehard Saints fan. He's gonna look at me like, wait, hold on. Yeah, he's a diehard Saints fan, but you know, you got to give it to the Vikings. You know, this is technically a road game for the Vikings and technically a home game for the Saints. But if you look at the previous, you know, times they've been in London for the Vikings, there's a lot of purple in the stands. You know, so I feel like this is, you know, in the books it's on as a road game, but I really think this is going to be, you know, a home crowd advantage for the Vikings. You see a lot of purple in the stands, and you know, I think that's going to play a big part. So, you know, I think, you know, I'd mark that as a W against the Saints.
I know a couple people that are actually going to that game, so you better cheer loud.
Okay.
They better cheer loud, and that's huge, knowing that it's a road game for the Vikings, but not essentially a road game because it's a road game for both teams. They're traveling to London, so that takes a road game off our schedule. Hopefully that's a win in the win column. Next up, we're back to the noon games. Finally, we got noon games in our system. The Chicago Bears, like Austin was saying, these are early division games. All 3 of our division games are home games.
Critical games, you just gotta win, especially at home. You just gotta win them.
Due to the Bears' absence of Khalil Mack, I'm gonna mark that as a W as of today. Please prove me right, Vikings. Don't prove me wrong. I know Kirk Cousins and the Bears have had their woes in the past, but I'll mark that as a W today. I'll just keep it at that, just a W today for the Chicago Bears. The week after that,
we're at Miami.
At Miami. What is Miami doing? How are they?
Well, I mean, you obviously see they made a lot of moves, and they paid a receiver a lot of money, you know, and they traded a lot to get him.
Little number 10.
Yep.
He's no spring chicken.
Mr. Cheetah himself. But as far as that game goes, you know, that is on the road. It's in Miami, you know. You're coming off, hopefully, a win off the Bears, so... As far as, you know, as our record goes right now, what are we looking at win-loss wise?
Right now we're 4-1.
4-1 going into the Miami game.
Some people aren't going to like that. We're 4-1 already, but that's what we have, 4-1.
Honestly, I'm kind of biased on how I feel about this game.
It's a tough game to pick. This is a Miami Dolphins team that could be very good.
I want to say it's going to be a win, but I just got this weird feeling this game's going to come down to like a last-second field goal, and I think we might end up losing this game.
I respect that pick.
I could see us going into the bye being 4-2.
On paper, Miami's a very good team.
Yeah, for sure, very good. You know, you just don't know what Tua's gonna do. You know, they did just sign Mr. Teddy Bridgewater himself, ex-Viking.
I did see that as well.
So he is their backup. You know, and I won't be shocked if at some point this season you do see him playing some snaps for the Dolphins. It could be against the Vikings. You know, you never know.
The apple don't fall far from the tree.
Exactly. So, as you know, I'd say let's mark it as an L. You know,
4-2 heading into the bye week.
4-2 heading into the bye. You know, I
respect that.
I definitely do.
4-2 heading into the bye week. Then the bye week's week 7, going on to week number 8.
Yep.
We had a home game, noon game against the Arizona Cardinals without DeAndre Hopkins. They're receiving. They have Zach Ertz. They have Marquise Brown.
Yep.
Now, still have James Conner.
AJ Green still, right?
Yep. AJ Green still, even though they don't have DeAndre Hopkins. Yep. Still got.
They lost their number. I don't know if you know this, but their number 1 defensive tackler last year for the Cardinals was Jordan Hicks. I believe that's his name.
Yep, Jordan Hicks.
It's Hicks, but I believe his first name is Jordan.
It is.
And Jordan Hicks, he had the most tackles for the Arizona Cardinals last year, and he is now signed with the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. So, and he's going to be starting with Eric Kendricks and Zadarius Smith as well.
So I think that might be a game where, you know,
Revenge
He's got a little
game,
revenge
dub.
game, last year we did play Arizona. I was actually at that game in Arizona, and I felt like we should have won that game. It was a big, huge score, back and forth game, but I think this will be the revenge year, and it's back at home at US Bank. I'll mark that as a dub.
I like it as a W.
5-2 coming out of the bye. I like it.
Can we just mark next week then Washington Cardinals as a W on paper for now?
We don't need
Let's
to talk
move on.
much about that. Carson Wentz has got his own little thing going on right now. That team, just let him be. I'll mark as a W.
Sorry, Carson Wentz. I know you're the NDSU guy, but we're going to skip right over you to week 9. If we lose that game, somebody please clip this and come back to me in Austin saying we skipped over you because we lost. But for now, we're going to skip over and say that we beat you. On to the next one. Honestly, another one we can skip over because it's going to go the opposite way. It's the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to chalk that down right now as an L. Like I said, hopefully that game gets flexed because at this point in time, going into the Buffalo game, the Vikings are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are 6-2 heading into Buffalo. That's an away game. It's going to be in Buffalo.
That's a good record to go into that game. Both teams should have some kind of record right in that area. 6-2. 7-1 area. And so that's going to be a very, very big game.
Very big game for hopefully both teams. Will Minnesota prevail though? As of right now, sitting at this table, I'm gonna have to say no. Buffalo's really good,
with
man.
You, man. They're good, man. I hate to say it.
They have Von Miller now too. Yeah. If I said people would think I'm crazy if I said W, so I'm gonna say L for now, just to keep my sanity. Next game is week 11 against the Dallas Cowboys. That is a 3:25 game and a home game as well for the Minnesota Vikings. The last 2 years, I think the Dallas Cowboys have beat us. Will that luck change this year?
Well, it should. It's at home. It's a 3:30 game. You would think, they need to come out winning. If you want to make the playoffs, you want to win that division. You got to win these big moment games, and that's what we brought Kirk Cousins in here for. And it's on his third season now with us? Fourth season? Was it third season now?
Yeah, this is his fourth season now with the Vikings.
Yeah, it's his fourth season now. So.
And he hasn't won. He's won some primetime games, but sadly, his we won't consider this a primetime game.
But it's a big game,
It's a big game.
It's a
Any
big
game against Team Jerry is a big game.
So you gotta mark that as a win,
Give us a win this year against the Dallas Cowboys. Please, Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi. Give us a win this year against Dallas. It would make me so sad if we didn't. Right now, we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They are 7-3 according to the Mod Studios and Hero Spells channel. They are 7-3 going into Week 12, a game that me and Austin are both going to against the New England Patriots.
Thanksgiving night.
Against Bill Belichick and company. That's going to be a great atmosphere. If you guys are there Thanksgiving night, make sure you hit either of us up. Austin Nielsen on Instagram and Snapchat, Anelly651. Hit him up, hit me up. We're both going to be at that game. Is it a win? Is it a loss? It's against Bill Belichick.
And it's against Mac Jones, guy that was rated higher than Kirk Cousins in the NFL Top 100 that I am not a fan of.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
yeah, he is.
Yeah, he was a couple picks higher rated.
Matt Jones is rated higher than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was number 98 on the Top 100 list. There's a lot of people under him. But we're both going to the game. Yep. We're gonna be screaming our ass off. W.
Gotta give him a W. You gotta.
I can't say we're gonna lose to a game that I'm gonna be in attendance at prior to it.
Don't want to lose those games.
No.
And the very next week, we got another NFC East or AFC East division opponent.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah,
it's another AFC East back-to-back. New York Jets at home.
This is 3 home games in a row: Dallas, New England, and the Jets. That's our biggest homestand of the year.
I just noticed that. Wow. Yeah. Oh, you got to mark that as a W too. It's the Jets. They're always a lost cause towards the end of the season. So, unless they shock the world, but they just lost their starting quarterback to some kind of little fluke injury in Week 1. They got Joe Flacco starting. So, who knows what it's going to shake up towards that end of the season. So,
is it going to be Joe Flacco or Mike White? Mike White or Joe Flacco could play. Mike White absolutely went bananas. I don't even remember who they played, but
he led that week in passing yards or something like that with almost 500 passing yards.
Yeah, he had like 500 passing yards.
Nobody heard his name ever before, and it's like, where did he come from?
So please, Mike White, stay home that weekend. Don't play the Vikings because Vikings. I didn't think about that. We'll chalk it up as a W for now, but the Minnesota Vikings have had their struggles with backup quarterbacks, especially over the past 3 years. I don't want to bring that up, but please, all starting quarterbacks stay healthy. No backup quarterbacks against the Vikings, please. The next week after that, we got the Detroit Lions again, another divisional game.
You gotta go on the road. You gotta beat that. I mean, it's just like I said earlier in the clip.
Tough one.
You know, you gotta win these division games. You know, you got 3 road division games towards the end of the season. You know, and you gotta win at least 2 of the 3. You would imagine.
Yeah.
Detroit.
At least 2 of the 3.
Detroit's gotta be that one that you win. You know, you gotta win that Detroit game.
I agree.
It's on the road. You gotta just make it happen.
I see a couple divisional games at the end there that I don't think we're going to win every single one of them. If we do, that'd be awesome. Yeah. But if we're going to win 2 out of 3 against divisional opponents in the last half of the season, Detroit's going to have to be the one.
No matter what.
That is a W. Next up is an interesting game, the Indianapolis Colts, because the Indianapolis Colts can be hit or miss. They have Matt Ryan as their starting quarterback, who's very capable, capable, and their defense is no loose cause either. They are very good on the defensive side of the ball. They got DeForest Buckner, who's an absolute phenom. Still have Xavier Rhodes on that team.
Can't forget about the running back, Mr. Taylor himself, Jonathan Taylor.
Forget him.
He's a dog, top 5 back for sure in the league. So.
Yep, they're going to be studying a lot of film that week on Jonathan Taylor as well as their receivers, Michael Pittman.
And it says here on the schedule that could be possibly a Saturday or a Sunday game.
Interesting.
That is real interesting. That could be flexed to one of those days.
I think that's exactly why the schedule is made like that, because they're thinking it might be flexed if the Indianapolis Colts are worthy enough. Because as of our schedule right now, the Minnesota Vikings will definitely be worthy enough. Right now, we're looking at 8-3 or 9-3 ish, according to our predictions here. Yeah, looking at 9-3 right now. Please be better than that, if not the same. Vikings, Indianapolis Colts. I don't know what we can both kind of mutually agree on this. This is we can say it both at the same time on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Loss.
L. Yep. Okay. Yep. We can both agree.
Yep.
That's a tough game, even though it's a home game. Leading into that, we've won 4 in a row. We got to lose 1 against the Indianapolis Colts here. I'm looking at the rest of the Vikings schedule. We got the New York Giants. I'll chalk that one up as a quick dub because that should be
easy.
Easy one.
At Green Bay, January 1st, it's going to be cold.
It's going to be extremely cold there. I would be dumbfounded if we won that game.
You know, honestly, the last 2 division games are going to be very cold. That's at Chicago too.
Last 2 games
January
of the year.
7th or 8th. So the first 2 weeks of January are gonna be some cold games, and we got to win one of those games, to win this division. Honestly, if you want to look at those 2 games right away, I'm going to say we lose to Green Bay and we beat Chicago.
I agree.
And
exactly what I was going to say.
And I think we finished the season with 12-5 record.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we play 17 games. That's 12-5.
12-5 record, and that should be just enough, to for sure get you a playoff spot. That will 100% get you a playoff spot, and hopefully that gets you, a division winner, and the Vikings are hosting a home playoff game, and then that's when it's, all go,
That's when in the playoffs, as push comes to shove, as long as you make the playoffs, as long as you make that dance, anything can happen. We've seen crazy things happen in the playoffs, not just for the Vikings, but for many teams on both sides of the coin, NFC and AFC.
Every Vikings fan's got that one common goal. We want to get that Super Bowl. So, as long as we get to the dance and we can make something happen,
we need it.
Anything can happen, So, I'm sick of the heartbreaks. I'm sure you're sick of the heartbreaks. Everybody's sick of the heartbreaks.
My dad's sick of the heartbreaks. He's 74 years old. He's seen it for 60, however old the Vikings are, 62 years. I'm sure he'd like to see a Super Bowl at some point.
The Vikings are big 0-4 in the Super Bowl, and we got to get that one. Just because I know we get that one, everything's going to be, everything's going to be good. Everybody's going to love it.
This is the year we do it. 2022 or 2023 Vikings Super Bowl champions. You heard it here first. But before that happens, the Vikings end the regular season 12-5. That was me and Austin's predictions. Do you got anything else to say?
Skol Vikes.
Like and subscribe to the channel, guys. It was really fun making this video with Austin. I hope
first time, it was my first time being on a little pod, and I enjoyed it.
You did great.
We're talking Vikings, so I know I had to come hop out with my boy. I appreciate it.
Your bread and butter. That was a really great shoot and really fun to make this video for you guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning into today's video. The regular season is less than 2 weeks away. I hope you guys enjoy the football season, as I will be enjoying it myself. Austin, Hero Spells as well. Hope you guys have a good day. Thank you for tuning in today.